Good morning, beauty beauties. Today is Pasta or Pizza Tuesday. Pasta or Pizza Tuesday. Welcome to another one of my fabulous coffee hours with you, my audience. Coffee hour. Have some coffee together this morning. Coffee hour. Oh. Hey, Charles. If you want it, maybe you can bring a coffee with you and we'll participate during this live stream chat. I hope so. It's your coffee. We all have a little something to sip along the way. I'm bringing my coffee. I'm getting my coffee. Ah. I have the volume on. Just turn it up a bit. And oh, chat is on. How is everybody today? Just looking for something that's in my other bag. I had an appointment yesterday that had to get rescheduled. I needed some of the stuff with me just in case they don't believe me more or less and or the same because they did before. And some other people, when they see and hear, saw and heard my name, their mental health changed and their lack of business ethics were witnessed once more, as themselves should never, should not, cannot, could not, may not, must not, need not ever did that. Their mental health, their incompetency. Staff has had to fire one once more. It's the same one, I'm sure, that I've tried to fire before. She tried to met me before, and she was with my name, not my mom, and because she didn't like getting fired by me, and I was seeking somebody else to do stuff as for me, she wanted to speak to my mother. She said, don't call me anymore, don't email me anymore, I don't want to know you anymore. Please, I want to talk to your mother. I'm like, so is my mother. My mother was, why? Why? And I told her why, and she said, I'm not doing that. I have somebody else to talk to. And so I replied to her and I showed and told her, I was showing and telling her a reference credential so that she would, but every time she saw those three other places, she flipped out and she didn't like it. And I was like, you don't deny met me. You don't deny knew me when it's pertaining to that. And for the very last time, I was like, you're fired. I complained before, she phone called me, replied because I wanted a meeting. She said she wasn't available, and I was shown and told what to do. She knew I wasn't going to keep her, and got to the appointment, and made doing other stuff that's related to business, etc. And the staff have to be business, not personal, not anything else. They had to do their jobs duties, jobs details, jobs descriptions. Same as her. Her job, her jobs details, her jobs duties, her jobs descriptions, her jobs titles, and her job, and her job, and her job. And as when I got a reply to, oh, I don't need your services anymore. I'm replacing you with somebody else. She phone called me. didn't like that. She didn't want to communicate with it. So, I mean, if she, that's what her job title, that's her job title, job duties, job descriptions, job details. You don't phone the client, the customer, and say, I want to speak to your mother. I don't want to deal with you anymore. Well, that's why I fired you. And if the company, the conglomerate, the business that she's working for gets rid of her too, all the better. Honestly. Nobody wants to know such a person, you know? And then I went on another social media and I Googled and I blocked her. I tried resetting my privacy settings because my social media, internet, wasn't considered a reference credential and elsewhere reference as credentials. She didn't think it was proper business, etc. And I was like, goodbye, gone, you're fired. So I resetted it so that she can't, with those accounts, see, hear, and uses, used my social media. And I saw somewhere the word Islam. And I'm like, oh, she's totally incompetent. No wonder she doesn't like me. Because I'm not Islamic. Whether she's Islam or not Islamic. Oh, unacceptable. So, not so well, that's my news updates. And I hope she shows and told, shows and tells, showed and told her employer. Because all my emails were not addressed, even although it was her email address allegedly, bank. I addressed it to examples, PayPal, whoever it was. And I showed and told them, look, this is what she's doing. Although it was served to her, I was like, no, I don't care. If I want to make a deposit or anything, you do your job. You don't do anything else. You don't need to speak to my mother. And it's the same person for more than 4 years that's caused trouble. 4 years. She tried to deny that she ever knew us. And before. And all those outwent phone calls from that company, business, wherever, allegedly recorded, should, can, could, may, must, and need used against her as their employee, my employee that I fired. And talking to my mother doesn't change that. I want her off my stuff and anything and everything she took put back in there, replaced. She didn't have any rights to anything other than doing her job and her job's duties, descriptions, details, and her titles. Is she on my social media, our social medias, internet trolling, and from there stalking us, as I mentioned earlier? She should, can, could, may, must, and need most definitely fired. And the other employers and or employer, company, business fired her. I mean, that's not allowed. She can't do that to a client, customer, or whatever. And I don't care. I'm not being a racist, bigot, discriminatory, discrimination, prejudices. It's just not something I believe in. On one of her profiles, the word Islam and or Islamic appeared, Facebook, and I was like, absolutely not, absolutely not. And that's not me being mentally ill and or forgot. I just, it's something I don't did and I don't do and I don't does. It's not a religious belief. It's not a religion that I believe in. And I'm very open to suggestions and everything. I mean, I try most everything. I don't do Islamic. I don't do Islamic, and I didn't even like. I didn't like. I didn't like one and more my mother, trans help rides driver, listening to Islam while driving. Honestly, I've vlogged so many times, too many times. Those drivers did instead of did, does, and doing their jobs, their job, title, description, details, duties. Religion is a part of work. I mean, it can be, although you don't upset the passenger, customer, client with that. You know, you don't, you're supposed to be driving and doing stuff, not that. Did that. And you're not late because you go somewhere, such as when we were waiting somewhere, a center, and across on some grass by a tree, put down your whatever and kneel and pray. You just don't do that. And yet a driver did. And we had to wait for that driver. And that driver was late. And we had to wait. And did we complain? We were alleged racists, bigots, discriminatory, discriminations, prejudice, prejudges. Yeah, it was there. And I tried to vlog it. I tried to also videotaped it and gave it to them as evidence. Much the same as that contact I told you about that I fired the other day. She had evidence. She got evidence. She doesn't want to use it. She doesn't want to show and tell it, such as alibis and other witnesses, because it showed and told, show and tell, shows and tells. She and one more and more other are, were, did, lied, falsely accused, and falsely alleged. All those seconds, all those minutes, all those hours, all those days, weeks, months, and years all happened to us. I mean, it's business. It's not place personal vendetta, premeditated, predatory, resentful, all before, all during November 3, 2025. I mean, it's just worse than abusing my phone. You know what I mean? It is just annoying. Sometimes very difficult getting good staff nowadays. And that one should have been gone more than a year ago, off of everything line. And my portfolio. And I'd be interested to see, because there was no mention of my mother on my portfolio, having to know her. I added a link to my description area. Go check it out, please, because it's rather pertinent to what I was talking about, sort of. And you can see some of it yourself. Other people that should not, cannot, could not, may not, must not, and need not. I'm surprised I didn't attach a photo of her there, because they're people that we should not, cannot, could not, may not, must not, need not themselves, all about, all to, and all about us, off and on and off the internet, such as this here, social media, YouTube. You put the cow on. Need a hot coffee. Laws Canada, alleged bylaws Canada, partial, and alleged human rights, all factual, all about, all true, all about my parents, my parents, parents, my parents, 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 my parents, 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 and all animals, and all botany, all pets, all fur babies, and myself, our girl, baby, all names, all and all named Bellis. Walking allegedly gives longevity. Live longer. Living longer. Live longer. And as I've tried to do some steps this morning into walking. And this one yesterday. My left knee, my left leg is up farther. It's mostly above above part of my knee and some below part of my knee. I know I've had problems with my knees before. Injured, wounded, and all names known who, but where, and why. And I recovering. And I'm very thankful that I can walk. Even just doing this. Walking. Physiotherapy, like. Intermittent walk fit. Intermittent walking. You know, I do this, I'm gonna rest, and then maybe later on today, I do more walking. Rest. And then do some Tai Chi sort of walking. I'll do more urban pole walking, sort of walking. And I have you on my table. I'm doing this with the volume on so you can hear me. While waiting to get my coffee. I don't know that my mother is awake. Not for the day yet. I need to find out. I don't know. Hot tea. I'm having a coffee. I could get my mom some. I'm gonna have something to eat. Here's my coffee. I'm not doing intermittent walking just to lose weight and gain muscle strength, muscles stronger. Because of my attractiveness, my beauty. It is, it's a muscle. It's more than one. My brain, my heart, my lungs, eyes, my calves. My biceps, my bum, my hips. Last but not least, my beast. It's like the overall workout. I'm not going to lose many calories, not lots. Although that's okay. A few here and there. Calories. Exercised. That's okay. Where those calories go. Quite a few places I don't want to lose weight, such as my heart, lungs, brain, kidneys, liver, etc. I did and I did not swallow the pain reliever last night. I did lots of walking yesterday, so I'm hopeful to have a stay with intermittent walking. Mom's going to be doing stuff. I'm not going to be exercising. Once I finish doing this, we'll do another 1 or 2 intermittent walking, indoor walking, walk fit. You can witness, like, and or subscribe as I did, I does, I do, I did. I title Foodist Beauty and radish emoji. I mean, who doesn't want to live longer, right? I mean, I've had more than one disappointment. I've had one and more disappointments already in my lifetime. I began doing this Mom and Cat live. The beautiful country beauty. And my knees and wrists began bothering me in 2021. Recuperating, recovering. It's been one thing after the other, you know, because you've seen it on social media. I've had one of my concussions, I've had a broken wrist, etc. As I mentioned about some other people in his business, you know. Is she a subscriber? I don't know. Is she on my social media? I don't know. Has that been put on my file and everything else? And or everything else? I don't know. It's not very professional anyways. I never did that. Never. Including Mississauga Senior Citizen Center, Square One Shopping Center, Suburban Older Adult Center, Central Parkway Mall, Active Adult Center, Mississauga, laws, there's bylaws, human rights, Employment Standards Act, and alleged volunteering was. And preservation, yes, they should not can occur in a restaurant in the restaurants as she does. The only way she should have had thought as have is her salary and her wages. Alleged CPP, that's a big pension. And there's something fired all the more. Does she ask for police protection, security, guard? She's paranoid, aggressive, and agitated. Personally, delusional. How about also and all about us Bellises? And as I have my voicemail on all day, in case you both and more, there's more harassment of employees that didn't do their jobs. Job title, job duties, job descriptions, job details, all that job titles. Job title stuff. Oh, speaking of. coffee, cold water boiled hot. Stove top. I added 1 teaspoon of my coffee I like, and 1 bigger teaspoonful of honey I like, and I stirred counterclockwise, and I did my inclination, my banishing spell, I suppose. See what the mentally ill other people did do to us more, us Bellises, and or less, same and or less, all before, all during, all later, all since. I suppose I should go listen to my voicemail message. It can wait, I suppose, till I finish my coffee hour. It's probably the same person and or people. They've got nothing good to do. They didn't do their job. Title, job duties, job description, job details. Very not professional. I want to speak to my mother. She didn't want to speak to me anymore. She phone calls me again today. If it is her, I'm reporting her. I'm going to have a complaint. That person's ongoing harassment, bullying, stalking, off and on and off the internet. Staff shouldn't did that, you know? They really, truly should not and do not do that. All about all two and all about us Bellises. Anyways, let's not talk about that stuff. I don't want to know about it. Not while I'm having my coffee. Foodist Beauty. Radish icon. Emoji. Foodist Beauty. Not Foodie Beauty. I'm not the Foodie Beauty. Some other people showed and told in the chat areas, comment areas, you know, you're better and greater than that other person, Foodie Beauty. Please do that more. And I was like, okay. I'm thinking, researching, studied. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I am better and greater than that other person. Foodie Beauty, aka Chantel. Come on, as I am. Foodist Beauty. That is me. Foodist Beauty. I don't do anything fancy because I'm not that good a cook. Although I can do a good salad. I don't cook from scratch very often, you know. Most everything is either raw and or packaged, prepackaged, pre-made too, such as rotisserie chickens, barbecue chickens. When and if I ever eat more, the ones ate, I tried, although for sale, bought rotisserie and barbecue chickens. And one lasted more than one meal. It's really good. And that's not where I got influenza type A from. My cat did give me influenza type A too, that I had in February this year. I was really, really sick. I think my immune system just, all that grieving just took a toll on me. With that alleged COVID 19 severe acute respiratory syndrome pandemic. I got diagnosed with influenza, which historically was considered just as and more deadly than that COVID. Took me like 4 months to recover. And I'm not a falls risk. I didn't fall, I fainted. Fainting and falling are two different words. And somebody else touching me is not me falling. Fell. That's why I'm taking medication, prescribed, prescription medicines. And one has a side effect that I don't like. May cause dizziness. May cause. May cause. And my mother too. Prescribed and or prescribed prescription and or it's all that prescribed prescription stuff in any order. It's side effects. Sometimes side effects worse than the illnesses themselves. Alleged. Okay, my hour is almost up with you. Cheers. Finished, that is. That's good coffee. Have any of you ever tried honey in your coffee? Honeys? That's good. Even during my meatless Monday, because I'm not actually eating a bee, the bees, I believe honey is meatless, vegetarian. Nowadays, everyone has an opinion going through flexitarian, vegetarian, uh, meatless vegetarian, vegetarian, vegan vegetarianism. All opinions. Just have to do research. And I've done lots. Studied and studied and studied. I'm actually considered a flexitarian vegetarian, which means many days, many foods, many beverages, plant-based, vegetarian. And I hope my showing and telling you, I help somebody. Maybe one and more my audience might change their carnivore diet and choose more plant-based foods, like maybe some raw vegetables, as well, cauliflower, raw broccoli, and or cooked. And do you have high iron ferritin levels? Maybe. That's what I like to have mostly, is cauliflower and broccoli, and lettuces, radishes, and with my chickens cooked, rotisserie, barbecue, whatever, I like to have some raw cucumber. I like to have some raw cucumber, with and or without any more condiments other than just eat it. I don't eat a carb with it nowadays. I don't have any carb, just some cucumber. It's really good. And a rotisserie great. You could do 4 portions. And my mom has one. She usually gets the white meat. I like to give her, and she does her, you know, when she gets that, when we get that portion for, she gets a whole portion. Her whole portion can last her 2 days, where it lasts me usually a day. Right, Mom? Good morning. Blah. Excuse me, beauty burped. I gotta go. I'll be back. See you tomorrow sometime, I suppose. Another amazing, fabulous, awesome coffee hour with me, the Bellis Witch, Foodist Beauty, Avril and Pets, Furbabies, Bellis Fairies Gardens, Avril, 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 all that, Avril, Francais, Avril, Avril, English, April. I'll be back. More coffee hours.